It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! You to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I want you to get up now. I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window. I want you to get up right now and go to the window. Open it, 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 and stick your head out and yell, and stick your head out and yell, and stick your head out and yell, and stick your head out and yell.
This is mass madness, you maniacs! 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 This is mass madness! This is mass madness!
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Okay, there we go. What's up, you guys? It's me, JJ, and I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. But I'm not yelling it because I don't want to hurt my voice, and because I don't need to hurt my voice, because my microphone works really good. It's got this diaphragm that's like a lot larger than your average microphone. Like a Shure SM57, it has a much smaller diaphragm than this here. What do they call them? Condenser microphones. This USB condenser. It's not even running on phantom power. Just the power from my USB port. You can believe that. No, it's nothing new. It's not unbelievable. It's just I never would have predicted a microphone like this back when I was making video games and more. And making a lot of TV at a place where a lot of the producers were saying things along the lines of, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. What do you think they were mad about? Here, I'll beat you to the punch and I'll tell you. They were mad about cannabis being illegal when the hemp could be used to make goods in a green, otherwise known as ecologically friendly manner and methodology. Okay? So I think I know what I'm doing. This is basically something I never wanted to do and never wanted to be. I'm almost like some kind of a pundit, except I don't know anything about politics, and I haven't even started the show yet, so that's a little premature. But I hope to address some issues. A lot of the issues might require some referencing from my vast library of knowledge that I've read before at least once, if not twice. For example, this book is a good place to start, and you can't even see it properly because it's panned down. My stack is too high. This is a good place to start. This little title is called Whatever Happened to Justice. It's an Uncle Eric book. I don't know if Uncle Eric or Richard J. Mayberry, I don't know if either one of those people are, like, left-wing, right-wing, in the middle, completely off the spectrum. Like, I forget. I just know that this person seemed to have an idea about what the world is supposed to be like because they know what we were promised and what we actually have, especially with regards to the United States of America. We've been promised a lot, and basically promises are not meant to be broken, you know? Promises are meant to be kept. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what any of this means. I dropped out of high school. I'm JJ. I'm the owner of Bright Idea Records, the producer of video games and more in ZTTF Home Movies TV show, and also I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. Why do I cross my eyes? I'm as mad as hell. Because I think angry people look stupid. They look like cartoon characters to me. But I guess now that I'm like on my 4th decade, I know why people get angry. It's because they were promised things, and those promises were never delivered, but nobody cares because the people that made the promises or whatever are in charge of the world. So they don't have to make good on their promises because they run the world. And then they try to make you feel guilty by telling you that you vote and that you're in control, that you're a constituent and you have the power, yet you don't, because you're presented the lesser of two evils every time, or every time you are voting for the... Don't you ever feel that way? You're like, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. But, you know, I feel safer if I don't do anything, because then you can't accuse me of anything, and I'm not guilty of anything. So I'm damned if I don't, right? That's an easy assumption to make, an easy opinion, easy feeling to identify with. Damned if I don't, but I'm damned if I do, because, hey, I'm accountable at that point. I have responsibility. I basically signed on to something if I do. So I'm damned if I don't, if inaction is going to guide me, because I do not want to be found guilty of anything. Guess what? You're guilty of inaction. So that doesn't work, buddy. You better pay attention. Also, if you believe what I just said a second ago about, damned if I do, right? Because, oh shit, I'm held accountable? Well, wait a minute. Do I have my logic straight? Let me see if I got my logic straight. I'm talking about human motivation, and therefore you're damned if you don't, and therefore, but you're guilty of inactivity. Yes, because if you don't do anything, you don't want to be guilty of anything. But I just informed you that you're guilty of not defending your constitution, your nation, the people that live inside that nation, otherwise known as your neighbors, your family, your friends, your enemies, your associates, your online connections, Yeah, so inactive people are cowards. Okay, it's true. Worrying about your own neck above all is basically cowardly, unless you can justify it logically, right? If you can actually explain to me why you're a coward, and at the end of your explanation, if I agree, wow, you made the right decision and I don't think you're a coward, well then, hey man, you're guilty until you prove you're innocent, right? I deem thee guilty of being a coward, and that's not a good thing to be, because we don't live in a utopia. Sometimes people have to fight for their rights, otherwise they don't get to keep their rights. And if the only thing preventing you from fighting for your rights is a fear of being prosecuted, persecuted, found guilty, or otherwise lynched at the end of a rope, well then, you need to be fighting for your rights more than anybody. Why are you so paranoid, huh? What are you so paranoid about? Alright, and now you're damned if you do. Okay, I'm just trying to get my logic straight. I know, I'm not a windbag. I'm just like a disabled person with dyslexia, learning disabilities, traumatic brain injury, and a laundry list of medications I should be on, and yet still only a few that I am. Yeah, and yeah. So if you don't have time for me, you can just go away. This is a lot like public access television, the way it used to be. I'm going to try to tell you what's up with my singer, a young black man in... Wait, scratch that. He used to be young. When he got thrown into prison, he was young. Now he's kind of like... He's not young. I would call him like... He's not middle-aged and he's not old, but he's not young. He's like early stage old. Like when you get blood pressure and like you don't quite have high blood pressure, you're like pre-hypertension, right? So my singer is a young black pre-old guy. He's like just about old. I said on a previous stream how I was like, maybe I need to adopt a young person because I don't know what's cool anymore. I don't know how to have fun because everything sucks and everybody's stupid. Maybe I could adopt my young black singer once they let him out of prison for stealing cigarettes and beer, like some kind of a killer, like some kind of a carjacking violent offender. You really want to send young black men to prison for petty theft, cigarettes, and beer? Give me a fucking break. I do have the right to be mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's not even related to how I've been fucked over. That's just how my friends and family get fucked over. Alright? So that's enough to make me mad as hell. But you see, like, it oftentimes, these right-wingers, they don't stick up for each other. And oftentimes these bleeding heart left-wingers, they'll let people walk all over them. But they'll gladly stick up for people. So, like, right-wing people won't let you walk all over them. But they basically don't defend anybody but their friends. Like, they don't pardon anybody unless it's, like, somebody that's, like, gonna like, make a statement. It's like, I let this person loose, and I'm cool because I'm sensitive. Yet, I don't negotiate with terrorists, and all the terrorists ever want is to get other terrorists released from custody, right? And on the flip side spectrum, yes, I'm gonna get back to damned if you do. Just let me get this thought out before I forget it. I forget my thoughts because I have too many, and I don't have a good cataloging system yet. I was hoping to get that installed. I heard there's a really good cyberware out there that will help me organize my thoughts. But I'm poor, and I'm resourceless, and I don't have any friends, so I don't have that cyberware installed yet. Something tells me it's not real. It's a hoax or a joke, and the joke's on me. But regardless, I did see that in Johnny Mnemonic one time, and I've always wanted it, so I guess I'll keep my hopes up. But, okay, it's basically like, yeah, the right-wingers, they stand up for themselves, but don't stand up for anybody else. They defend themselves, but they don't defend anybody. Oh, well, that's debatable. Hey, the left-wingers, they stand up for people, right? But they don't defend themselves. About the end of that story. Yeah, they'll stick up for you, but not use a gun to do it. They'll gladly talk to the wall. They'll talk to the hand. Hey, talk to the hand. Talk to my hand, because I'm not listening. My hand's listening. You can talk to it all day. Yeah. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'll never be damned again. I'm the one that does the damning around here. And I'm not talking about hydroelectric fuel sources, okay? Not that kind of damn. I mean goddamned. Damn you for your lameness. And I don't mean your injuries that cause you to walk around with a limp. I mean your K-lameness, you lamer. You don't have my respect. Nobody does. And not right now. I'm suffering too badly. My singer's suffering too badly. I got other friends that are suffering too badly, but I don't want to bring their good name into my fight. Alright? I have the First Amendment. I have free speech. I have net neutrality. I have the right to tell you what the fuck I think. God damn it. And I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. It's ridiculous, and I would like to know the answer to this question, because this book was published like 30 fucking years ago or something. What was it, 1995, 94, 96, 97? I forget. I know I was given this book for my birthday. It was like a gift from the guy that ran, not Pandora's Box. No, that was Roger Shear. Was that Pandora's Box? Oh, that's right, Paradox was Roger Shear, and Pandora's Box was my buddy Trevor that lives up the street and has a beautiful family. He's like a Jewish American man with a beautiful girl that might adopt my leopard gecko because my female leopard. You know what? That's not what I'm here to talk about. But good person. He only ever made TV to fucking wake you up because you're wide asleep, fool. So listen up, okay? You're gonna have to learn how to do a few things if you don't want to become a slave, because this is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. But oftentimes, basically all my life, I have felt that this is the land of the not free and the land of the slaves, because guess what? Everybody's working for the weekend. And you know what they're working at? They're working at making money to survive. They don't need extra spending cash to go party next weekend. No, everybody's working for the weekend until the day they die. Because this world's fucked. And they try to make you think that you're fucked. But tell me, I want to know. You can comment on this if you want to. And the only comment that I want to see in regards to this question, and this is not a fucking rhetorical question, all right? I just want to know. Are you working for the weekend? If you are, then I'm sorry, that sucks. I mean, like, no, I'm not crying. And I'm not on cocaine or I haven't even sniffed any drugs. Like, that's like my allergies. And I got some incense burning in here, which tends to activate my allergies. I thought I would bless the room. Because I don't know, man. I guess I don't have any sage to burn or any hemp to burn. But I went to the store today and I got this neat hat and I got like a I got this neat postcard. That one. And I also got I was gonna try a Hustler brand energy drink, but I got worried. I was like, is this drink gonna leave me with my pants down? You know, Hustler magazine, Larry Flint Enterprises. That guy's like pro free speech too, if you can believe that. The wheelchair-bound pornographer is all about free speech, and so what? Well, it's his right. That's what. Anyway, it's a pretty good book that asks a lot of good questions and sometimes delivers on some good answers. What's another good book that I might want to reference? You know, I don't have an agenda. Like, I just want to tell you what's been happening, and I want to let you know that I'm qualified. Alright? I'm not a loudmouth windbag. Also, I'm not some wannabe right-wing pundit. Also, I'm not some wannabe left-wing journalist. Also, I'm just mad as hell, and I don't want to take it anymore. Because that's just going to lead to high blood pressure, and I've already got that. I'm on a pretty high dosage of Losartan. It's like 50 fucking milligrams every day I wake up. It's ridiculous. I never used to be an angry person. I tried my best to not be. So we got my young singer in prison. My young black singer. Oh, that's right. He's not young anymore. I forgot. I just said that a second ago. And I got a call from his public defender the other day. More on that in a minute. I wasn't too happy. I wasn't too pleased after that phone call. But I was more confused than anything. This is a good book. This one is the Arizona Gun Owner's Guide. This will tell you what your legal responsibilities are if you ever decide to start packing heat. You know? Did you know that you're legally obligated to stop a rape or a molestation by shooting the raper or the molester? Did you know that you're legally obligated to help someone if they're getting killed by a killing murderer? Did you know that every time you talk about gun control in an illogical fashion in an effort to get guns eliminated from planet Earth, which is never going to happen because authority and security figures will always have weapons and the people won't if your agenda works out, right? But at the same time, if you are not rooting for gun control, then you might as well go put a firearm in the hand of a psychopath. Yeah, I must sound crazy. I must be psychopathic, right? Sociopathic, psychopathic. Yeah, because sociopaths really care about you. All their overflowing empathy and sympathy. Yeah, I am neither psycho nor socio or whatever. Granted, I'm not a doctor, so I'm probably not qualified to say that. But I hope you can take my word for it, and I hope that my work speaks for itself. Because if you had never looked at my work, you might want to consider it. because I'm not a loudmouth windbag, some wannabe right-wing pundit, nor a left-wing wannabe journalist, whatever. I'm just JJ motherfucking Styles, Trip Zip Uno, the rockinest man alive, the original streamer, and the guy you should be paying attention to. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up sucking, just like everybody else does. And if you don't suck, as in you aren't K-lame, if you're actually cool, well, I bet that you suck up the shit that's shoved down your throat, don't you? Because you don't have a choice. So either way, metaphorically speaking, in this double entendre of a bent-over-a-barrel situation, you wind up sucking. Yet I do not. Because I am mad as hell and I don't take this. And I choose to protest using my First Amendment right, free speech. And I also choose to protest in a non-traditional fashion because I've told you guys about the time I saw the cops totally bust up that peaceful protest that was merely trying to get housing for the homeless. And the reason why they did it in the first place was because, yes, it was on federal building property. And yes, that is why the local police got extra violent. Because they were ordered to by the federal government, proving that the police state exists, that your helpful local officers are just as complicit in our national crimes as anyone else that helps and aids and abets tyranny, motherfucker. I need a cigarette. Getting a little worked up. But yeah, choosing to protest over the internet in an effort to get you mad as hell and shouting out of windows. And the funny thing is, the audio was muted, right? So technically, I was shouting at windows. You know what I mean? I was literally, I'm running Microsoft Windows and like, I did open Windows. I mean, technically, it was open the moment the computer booted up, right? So my window was open, and I did yell, quietly that I was as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So I literally did just that. Isn't that funny? That's a funny way to look at it, huh? I'm humorous. That's a sign of intelligence, is it not? I'm a funny guy. Son of a bitch. Who knew? What a funny, angry drunk. How humorous for an angry drunk. Whoa! Cheers. Oh, man. I tell you. I've had that whiskey bottle for a while. I guess I'm just not whiskey compatible. It's not as tasty as rum or vodka to me. But then again, rum or vodka isn't as tasty as like rum chata or like tuaca or maybe like 99 bananas. There's a host of all. You know what? That's a good idea, JJ. I like your thinking. That's the perfect complement to that fucking nasty whiskey. I don't know who was the first to ferment rye, and I know it was a popular drink back in those old Western times in the pioneering early America, like, days. But I don't like it. I've tried time and time again to be a whiskey drinker, and I just can't do it, Oh well. Back to the cigarette. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I'm not. I'm like young enough I could be out there getting laid or like maybe just having fun. I try not to make getting laid a priority because that cheapens the affair of making love. So I've never tried to be a big braggart about getting laid because that's like repugnant. And also it makes a man appear, because it's usually men boasting about getting laid. Usually girls are just letting each other know to be like, supportive. It's like, guess what? I broke the streak! Oh my god, who is he? Is he cute? That kind of a thing. Whereas opposed, to the typical thing I grew up with was guys like, hey, guess who got laid over the weekend? Oh, that's incredible! So you're not a faggot! That's amazing! I could have sworn you were a fudge-packing queer. That's kind of how that goes. Which isn't very... Neither scenario is... I suppose that the first one is a little bit nicer, but I don't really approve of either of them because, like I said 2 seconds ago, both of them cheapen the act of making love, which is probably why everyone in my nation is, divorced, right? What was the divorce rate last time I checked? I don't know, 50%? 50% stay married, 50% don't? If they get the divorce, so what? I don't know what it is now. I'd like to think that the numbers have improved. I'm not a religious person. It's debatable whether or not I'm a spiritual person, but I do know that everybody that gets married takes on the vows. The vows, they vow things. They make promises, and a lot of times they don't keep their promises, and that bothers me. I try to make as few promises as possible because I respect the meaning and the feeling that are supposed to be conveyed behind the word promise. It's kind of like a human right is basically a human promise. And if you disregard promises and think that they mean nothing, well, then perhaps you deserve to have your human rights taken away. But I still will fight for your human rights because that's a heavy thing. Well, who really deserves what in this world? I mean, perhaps I agree with an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Perhaps I agree with Hammurabi's law. I don't know. Occam's razor? Look, man. It's a very simple fucking concept. A promise is a promise is a promise is a promise, and a right is a right is a right is a right. And if you break your promise to me, that's gonna hurt my feelings. And if you break my rights, I'm gonna hurt you, motherfucker. You don't take my rights away. And I don't care what representative is speaking on my behalf, or what kind of power of attorney, or what kind of power they have. You don't take my rights. I think I'm starting to feel the alcohol. That's cool. Good thing I'm done with my cigarette. At any rate, I hope my singer is okay. I thought I was getting a call from him earlier because I was getting a call from GTL Communication Systems. Telecommunication? Yeah, something like that. And they were saying that I had a free phone call as opposed to informing me that an offender at a correctional facility was attempting to reach out to me but with this collect phone call, but that I need to put the funds into the right places, otherwise the call will not connect. And sometimes I can get to my credit card in time. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I don't look for my credit card because I know I'm just too broke and don't want to go bankrupt. Or perhaps I just don't feel like talking because I'm in an incredibly bad mood because of all the injustices that have happened to me lately, from my rights being trampled, and also because I don't have the right medication to control my pain, and that makes me very grumpy, if you know what I mean. It's like most people that are addicted to opioids are just like junkies, which they don't always suffer from chronic pain syndrome, right, like I do. And so when you see a sick junkie, they tend to look like, oh, I'm sick, oh. Yet, when I get sick, I look like I'm gonna kill you! Ah! Motherfucker! I'm in pain! Fix it now! Because I'm justified to feel that way. Because I didn't get myself strung out on pain medication. I didn't want to start taking it, but it was my last option. I was at the end of my rope, man, and it worked. It's a good thing I trusted my doctors because I had like fucking 15 years of functionality. I made things that I never would have made otherwise. In fact, I might have died because the pain was having such a serious effect on me. I was recovering from post-traumatic stress, survivor guilt, traumatic brain injury, and to be quite frank with you, I wasn't too eager to see tomorrow. Okay? But, you know, I took my time and I started to do things. You know, like Video Virus, a TV show, get my concealed carry license. That's like a license and a status. You know, I got my passport, my United States of America passport that allows me to freely go anywhere in the world that I can travel to. You know, I basically have the right. I think, like, I don't know how that works. I think it's like licensing fees. Because, like, you can't really use copyrighted intellectual property just willy-nilly. You're supposed to get permission, otherwise known as licensing, and also, so that relates back to the traveling around the world across borders, because, like, having a passport is like being licensed. It's like you're allowed to do it, you know? Granted, you can't move. You gotta come back. Much like with licensing, it's like you don't own it. It's like it still belongs to so-and-so. So it's like it's the parallel lines are clear. They are not blurred yet. You know? I think one of the reasons why I am mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Uh-oh, my book stack is falling over. Oh no, I got a bad back. I can't afford this. I gotta stop this now before it turns into an avalanche. Ow, my shoulder. Ah, fuck. I gotta sit back. Oh, that's too far. What are we talking about? Hey, did you notice my hat matches a lot of things in here? So that was the other thing that I'm mad as hell about, is the whole copyright fucking fascist dictatorship that we seem to be living under right now. It's kind of like when Napster happened, okay? Let's look at the timeline. That's my thumb. My thumb is when Napster happened, and my pinky is where we are right now. And this means hang loose, bro. Or sister, or what have you. Hang loose, person. Hang loose, human. Hang loose, netizen. Hang loose, American. So-called American. You're just a bunch of so-called Americans as far as I'm concerned. Because you don't know the first thing about protest. Have you ever even been to one? No. Not that walkout bullshit that you pulled that one time just to get out of class. I mean a real fucking protest. Like Occupy America or whatever, to be proud of? Something to be proud of? The problem with Occupy, in my personal opinion, is that, you know, if you can remember, it was just like a bunch of tents. Like everybody was camping on Wall Street, and that turned viral, and pretty soon all across the nation people were camping downtown, which looks really weird because like tents, like a canopy is one thing. Like a canopy has like 4 legs. I think it's called a canopy. It's got like 4 legs and there's a tent. I saw a canopy, or if I'm using the right word, I saw one in my neighborhood earlier. And when I went to get my new mouse, this guy, my Game Punk, and also that postcard with the skull, I'd work the camera, but I got books and a bad body. Also, I got like, hold on, the incense, which is almost done burning, by the way. I live in a blessed sacred room, and I don't technically live here, because, like, sometimes I sleep other places, but still, I work here. So, and I do so much work, you might as well call it my life. Alright, so, what? Well, on the way back to my studio, my sacred studio, I decided to stop at the canopy that I saw, because I took the same route, and I pulled up and I turned off my engine after I rolled down my powered window, and a nice gentleman walked up, and I started the conversation by asking, "Hey, what's going on here? Are you guys selling things?" I could tell they weren't, because, like, but it almost looked like some kind of a makeshift restaurant, because they had like an easel, like, you know, when people paint pictures, when artists choose to make a masterpiece, they tend to use an easel. Okay? So there was like a sign on an easel that was indicating things, but I couldn't figure out what they were indicating. Even if I walked up close to the sign and read it, I'm not sure if I would have known. Can't you see the sign? No long hair, no shirt, no shoes, no service? Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't understand your sign, because it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm free. I'm a free human being, and your sign seems a little oppressive. Your sign seems a little fascist, so forgive me that I don't have any pants on right now. Ow. Ow. Ow, my ribs. Ow. That's funny. Ow. Ow. Man, I thought I was doing good today. Charlie horses and my ribs. I woke up and I stretched. I reached to the heavens, as they're called. I reached towards outer space, basically. The universe. I was reaching out to the universe this morning when I woke up. I didn't have a thought in my head. I was just hoping to feel good, because I always wake up feeling less than good. Okay? So, as I stretched, when I was done, I said, "Awesome!" Guess what made me stop? I just got that little rib twinge, and I'm like, alright, we're done stretching. But normally, it's like all the muscles in my back. Charlie horsing. Nay. I am a naysayer to that. Alright, buddy? It's like torture. It's like you oppose Guantanamo Bay, yet you do not help me get pain medication. Do you? Fuck you, man! You know how much pain I live with? You suck! Really? I will get my own television display screen covered with spit that I have to clean up later. Because I'm just like you. I like having a nice display to look at. But when you don't stick up for my rights, it makes me disappointed. And I'm going to let you know I'm disappointed. Because it sucks when people don't. I'm basically being a nice guy. Because when people talk behind people's backs, it's cruel. Okay? It's like you don't give that person an opportunity to explain themselves, because the person that is talking behind the person's back, they might not have their facts straight. Okay? Just because you have, like, evidence of what you think is evidence doesn't mean it's actually evidence. It might be out of context. Alright, motherfucker? So you may be all proper and prim. You might know how to conform way better than me to the rules. You know what's a rule? Human rights, man. Like free speech. The right to defend yourself. At least where I was born. Okay, man? So lighten up and stop and think about what I'm telling you, man. Because pretty soon, it's like I'm not even going to have the opportunity. I'm going to be too poor to afford internet. Because I'll probably be living in your backyard. And you'll probably have to evict me. Because you don't want crazy JJ living in your backyard. Dude, I'm not even crazy. Get out of here. You don't live here? Shoo. Shoo. And then you broom, like with a brush, you broom me off your property. I'm just like, stop it! You're activating my allergies! I have bad asthma! I can't handle the dust! You're killing me! But if I were to stand there and just take the dust, that would be an assault. But if I walk away, I'm doing you a favor because you're not assaulting me at that point. I'm choosing to just get pushed aside. You know, there's a difference between a push and a shove. Do you know that? Have you ever been in a mosh pit? I'll bet you haven't, because you're a coward. Otherwise, I'd live a good life. I assume the world is filled with cowards because none of my rights are being upheld. My singer's rights aren't being upheld. So therefore, you probably haven't been in a mosh pit, and I will inform you, because I'm an honest person, I will tell you the truth. There's a difference between a push and a... I'd like to use a film effect, because a shove is a lot faster. Like a push is like that, and a shove is like that. Alright, I did it. But you see, if you did a shove like that, like my demonstration, that wouldn't be enough to move a person. It takes a lot more force than that to move a person. It really does. If you were to just go like that and call that a shove, you'd probably get your lights put out. You gotta be prepared to get your lights put out if you're gonna do a wimpy shove like that. That's not gonna get anybody off your property. I'm just saying. You know, there's a lot of theoretical ideas, hypothetical ideas. There's a lot of myths that are going around right now on the internet and or otherwise. Why do I call them myths? Because you haven't gone through it. So you don't know that it's true. It's like you're taking the information verbatim as the truth without having actually been through it yourself. You're just absorbing it like a sponge. And that disappoints me, because that means, one, that your educators are lying to you, and that's disappointing. Granted, they don't really get paid enough to teach you the truth. They don't get paid enough to spend any time teaching you the truth, because it takes time to explain the truth like I'm doing right now. Alright? I think I'm doing a good job of indicating when I'm joking, when I'm making hypothetical examples, and when I'm telling you the truth. Okay? Because in my experience, those are difficult things to distinguish. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't want to give you that, not a detriment, disservice. I don't want to do you that disservice. My shoulder. Granted, I'm not really providing a service right now. Okay? I'm trying to tell you how to do your job. And your job, at least if you live in the United States of what, is to, like, stand up for yourself, stand up for your family, and hopefully stand up for your neighbors, or perhaps even people that are not your neighbors. Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. I'm so bad at this. I'm worse than Stephen Colbert, and that guy's a parody. That's satire. I'm not satire. I'm like literal. I'm like, okay, no fingers. Oh, my back. No toes. I'm like crossing anything except my heart. I'm not satire. I'm a real person. And though I make a lot of like attempts to be humorous, because I know it's boring if I don't. A talking head is a boring thing, is it not? Yeah. Well, hey, at least I've got a torso, right? Yeah. And I'm still mad as hell, and I'm not gonna fucking take it anymore. Because there's just too much suffering going down, and the exploitation of my rights, my singer's rights. Let me think. I'm sorry. I don't like that. A lot of the people I know that had their rights violated are dead. And I got post-traumatic stress. I got survivor guilt. And I want to keep this stream going. Because it's important, okay? It's like you people suck. And I gotta tell you why you suck. Alright? I don't have time to cry about it. And I've also spent enough time doing that very activity. And I don't mean tears coming out of my wiener. Granted, I've spent a lot of time doing that too. I'm talking about my ocular eye sockets, man. And my tear ducts. I spend a lot of time crying over dead people. A lot of dead people. That were first world citizens. That died too young. For no good reason. Man, it's stupid. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to fall victim to that phenomenon. The dying too young for no good reason. But I'm just confused because I thought I'd be dead way before now. And I said that on my previous stream, and it's fucking true, dude. I really am not a privileged little brat. I pretty much grew up with gunshots going off in my neighborhood all the time. Not once, not twice, not 7 times, like hundreds of times before I moved away to the other side of town. And I don't mean hundreds of times in one particular night on the 4th of July. I mean like hundreds of times like fucking my entire childhood. And it wasn't a backfiring car. I lived in an A Mountain Crypt neighborhood. Crypt, like a cripple, like blue. A-M-C-C. Okay. I thought about joining them for a little while, but I thought also about joining the South Side, the Vistas, homie. I'd be dead for sure if I would have joined either of those street gangs, you know? But luckily, I went to a public access TV studio where I had good friends that gave me books like this. It's kept me alive so far, and now I'm trying my best to do like this guy, the guy that signed my birthday book. He was basically acknowledging my birthday and trying to like give me an extra bonus because he used to give me $10 every time I directed his TV show. Yeah, I've been employed. I've been earning a check, so to speak, for a long time. Since I was like this tall and did my first McDonald's commercial. I know a thing or two about your rat race, motherfucker. You think that your rat race maintains the peace. And perhaps back in the past, yesterday, perhaps that was true, all right? Perhaps. Perhaps all the stupid fucking rhetorical bullshit we used to do to survive in a first world civilized nation, it's like perhaps that stuff was necessary back then. I don't fully believe that it's necessary now, because we have a global communication system that is practically faster than the speed of light. Are you intelligent? Yes. Are you educated enough to know the difference between the speed of light and the speed of the internet? Are you? Well, if you are, you're smarter than me, because I don't. But a lot of times my internet communications appear to me to be faster than light. So, if you have a global communication system where you can work things out rapidly with strangers or perhaps old acquaintances, best friends, hell man, maybe you're married to the person. If you can work out your differences at light speed across the planet with other people, maybe we don't have to live by the same stupid fucking rules we've always lived by. When people don't talk to each other, they are irrational, they are rude, they are mean, they are spiteful, and they are seeking justice because they've been hurt. Man, if you know anything about sympathy and empathy, you know, you might understand what I'm trying to describe to you. It's like all it takes is I apologize. I'm very sorry for having upset your life. That wasn't my intentions. That is a lot different than, hey, fuck you. Yeah, I hope I fucked you up because you fuck me up every day of my fucking life. You loser. I'd like to kill you. Ah! Alright, I gotta calm down because I'm not gonna maintain my stream at this rate. But I'm very disappointed with regards to, like, the opioid laws in my country. I think the DEA is an oppressive force. The Drug Enforcement Administration? Is that what that? Oh no, agency. The Drug Enforcement Agency is an oppressive force, but they only do it because they're trying to follow orders. Guess whose orders they're trying to follow? Yours. Yours, fool. They're trying to follow your orders because as a constituent, you make the laws. I think we've all seen this happen recently with basically the legalization of cannabis with regards to medicinal use and recreational use. I didn't even know about the recreational use until recently, and I've had a dispensary like down the street, like this whole time. I could have been getting relief, but because I thought cannabis was still a crime, because nobody told me, and I'm a post-traumatic stress, survivor guilt, chronic pain, suffering motherfucker. I want to kill you. My doctors never told me. Nobody told me. My doctors would say things like, have you ever tried cannabis as a solution, or perhaps, you know, a Band-Aid or whatever the fuck for my chronic pain? And, you know, I'd say to the doctor, yeah, I've tried it, I guess. And, you know, I don't think it helps. And that was the end of the discussion. You know why I said that? Because I thought it was still illegal, and I didn't want to admit to a crime because of a thing called the Fifth fucking Amendment, you retards. Why would I tell a doctor? It isn't like he's my attorney. I guess I have client, you know, professional privileges, confidentiality. Yeah, have you ever hacked a health facility? Hey, have you ever hacked a law firm? I have. I did it before I was 18. And in the second scenario, I did it over dial-up modem. It doesn't exactly make you feel safe it doesn't exactly make you want to expose yourself. It kind of makes you want to live your life as a shadow, you know? Because when you're weak and moneyless, when you're weak and undereducated, at least according to societal standards, I got no accreditations other than my dean's list, my Phi Theta Kappa, my fucking placards that come from the city for helping the community. Like, I don't have a whole lot of accreditation. I think I got a reference made one time so I could get a job. What a mistake that was. I'd rather live my entire life jobless than contribute to a bullshit world like the one I've lived in. This world is so fucking bullshit. All I ever had were good intentions. And now that I'm 40 and I have no stamina left, my body's falling apart. I'm riddled with pain and mental illness, and I can't take it anymore? I need to stick up for myself before I either break my body completely and can't do a goddamn thing, or break my mind and do something irrational that I can never erase or undo. Right? So I have to stick up for myself right now, and I have to stick up for my singer right now, and I have to stick up for every other lowlife that isn't an actual lowlife. They are merely a lowlife because of stupid, arbitrary rules made by ignorant old white people that have been dead a long time, man. You know what I mean? You know, I'd like to believe that the people, those white people, those white men that made the Constitution and all this American bullshit, I'd like to think they had the best intentions of any friend I've ever had. Because those are some really, really, really good declarations. And those are some really, really, really good amendments and rights. And if you don't get it, maybe you should try walking in my shoes. Because though America sometimes seems to be not very fair, in actuality, if the rules were actually upheld, this place would be a lot more fair. And we wouldn't have all the social injustices that we've all had to deal with for so very fucking long now. You know what I mean? Like if the rules were actually being upheld. You know? It's like this one book. I'd show it to you, but I got so angry, I got mad as hell and I kicked over my camera. Because I am just out of control these days. Usually I was using medication that came from a pharmacy that was prescribed from my doctor, and I don't have that right. I don't have that option, excuse me, anymore. It's more of an option than a right. It's not necessarily a privilege or a gift. It's basically an option, because I have the right to choose that option. But that option has been taken away from me arbitrarily by an over-oppressive administration. Just like my singer is rotting. And I say rotting not because his accommodations are less than perfect. No, I'm talking about his life. The best years of his young black life are over. And he spent the tail end of them in prison. For stealing cigarettes and stealing alcohol. Oh, gee, JJ, I don't believe you. Hey, guess what? The cigarettes are kept behind the counter. Yeah. Guess what happens when you go behind the counter? They think you have a gun and you're robbing the place, and it's violent. Even if you can manage to grab a pack of cigarettes and sneak away unnoticed, if they're cataloging their inventory and notice a pack is missing and they review the video footage, which now is infinite, used to have to use a videotape, now you get to use digital storage, so you can keep a very long log of activities And if you can identify the person on the video from previous crimes committed against your franchise, well, you can hunt them down and you can make them suffer as badly as you want to. I'd be willing to bet that the Circle K Corporation responsible for the Circle K convenience stores that we all go to and that was featured in the classic hit Hollywood blockbuster Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, starring the, God rest his soul, deceased and departed George Carlin, the most logical comedian I've ever seen. A true wordsmith, a man that knew logic intimately. So intimately he probably had sex with logic. I don't know how that works, but guess who the offspring is? It's me. I am the metaphorical bastard offspring from the time that George Carlin fucked Justice. So I'm like half Justice and half George Carlin. Which, by the way, if you didn't know this already, George Carlin is kind of a counterculture, intellectual, bohemian misfit of a comedian, and yet still hugely popular, both with the masses that watch movies and go to stand-up comedy performances. He was like a hero to the common folk and to the business executives that profited off of his huge popularity. And I think he was even known to testify in front of Congress with some good jokes because, like, you know, I've watched C-SPAN before. I know my shit, and I saw him do it. A real Renaissance man of the 20th century, wouldn't you say? You might as well consider me his offspring. Granted, that's probably more than I deserve. I'm not as accredited. I mean, like, I've met Kevin Mitnick and shook his hand. He was a really nice guy. He's dead now. I've met Fito de la Parra. He's the drummer for Canned Heat. I hope to God he's not dead. I don't check the news anymore because I'm too PTSD'd out, and I don't want to read that. I'm about ready to cry just thinking about it. Oh God, man, I got photos. Oh, here, please excuse me. Fuck you, man. Ow, my ribs. I'm getting so old, my tried and true methods don't even work anymore. All right, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not a crybaby. I'm just a human being that's been put through way more than any human being ever deserves. But yeah, you know, Kevin Mitnick and Fito would agree with me. And if Fito's still alive, I hope you do. But also, I've met Lee Ving, the singer for Fear. He'd agree with me. And if he doesn't, well, fuck you. I thought you were cool, dude. You know, some people think that Lee Ving is like this asshole, right-wing motherfucker, right? Because that's kind of his shtick. But he's actually a gentleman, a gentle-hearted person that is very honest and respectful to the people that walk up and talk to him. Like, he was very nice to me, and he even took time to talk to me. When did I approach him? Gee, when he was loading his band gear into the van, into the truck to go to the next town. I'm like an annoying little gnat walking up going, "Hey, it's Lee Ving. Hey, Gene. Hey, Justin, get your ass over here. I found him. Hey, Mr. Ving, I'm JJ. You know, people used to call me Bing, you know, like the search engine. The search what now? I'm sorry, this is 20 years ago. You don't know the internet that well, do you, Lee? It's okay. But I'm just saying, I identify with the whole ing thing. Also, do you need any help with your band equipment? Because though I've been through a deadly, fatal, tragic rollover, and I've had to recover from it using physical therapy and drugs. I basically recovered because of my doctor's orders. I would love to help you with your band equipment, and I said it much more succinctly than that. But give me a break. This is an old memory, and I'm just trying to convey it. It isn't like I'm making a film here. I'm trying to paint a picture so you can get it. Okay, folks? That maybe perhaps the life you live isn't quite as cool as you think it is. And that also the people you hate maybe don't deserve it. And that also the people you love maybe don't deserve it. Maybe if you don't know people on an intimate, personal level, you shouldn't be such a little sycophant. Perhaps, and you especially shouldn't be trying to conform to rules, ideals, and like just the whole thing. Like, if you're following somebody else's rules and ideals, guess what? The person that made those rules and ideals probably ain't living up to them themselves right now at this moment if they're still alive. Do you get it? Do you get it? That you determine your own future? Do you get it? Do you get it? You determine your own identity. Do you get it? Do you get it? It has always been this way. And do you get it? Do you get it? That subjugation and slavery and like this whole fucking justification system that we have is nothing more than a way to keep you down and them up. And who's them? How's about the 1%? Huh? Because the 1% also controls the upper 25%. You know? And it's really the lower 50% that get totally shafted. Wait, does that add up? No, excuse me. It's more like the bottom 64%? Yeah. So it's more like the 1% and the top upper crust 25%. So there's a lot more to hate than just the 1%. If you are currently totally screwed over, and everybody you know is totally screwed over, and this whole world seems to be totally screwed over, especially the so-called first world, okay, man? There's a lot more people to blame than just the 1%. It's more like 1 plus 25 at least. You know, I haven't done my census, calculations for the year. Oh, no. I haven't polled anybody lately. But, I do know how to interpret the living standard because I am at the bottom. I am totally only earning like $16,000 a year, as according to my last notification in the snail mail. And according to the internet, 16,000 is super poor. Okay? And so what? Yeah, I love my Obama phone. Oh, what a nice privilege. It's too bad I'm like this close to starving to death. Yeah. If I buy anything expensive, it could cost me my life. Because what happens when I destroy my credit? Huh? Are you worried about my credit? You're not. No one is. I don't even think my mom worries about my credit because she asks me for money more than anybody. So what? Well, once your credit is destroyed, you're on your own in a way that is very, very deadly. Okay? And if you don't believe me, you can ask any one of my friends. I have friends that are older than me that have never had credit. Like friends that don't know if they have good credit, bad credit, or otherwise medium credit. They don't know because they've never had a fucking credit card, and they're older than me, and I'm 42. Okay? So I've had friends that have lived their whole lives without credit, and they're still alive. Granted, they're in rough shape. Some of them are toothless. I'm not going to name names because I don't know if they're comfortable with that yet. But I think they should be proud because they don't wear dentures either. Like every single tooth fell out of their head. They never went to a dentist. They just sort of like, let it happen. And now that they're toothless, they just kind of deal with it. and they're not trying to be a burden on anyone, you know? And or they're not trying to go and give their money away to people that don't deserve it. Hey, man, dentists and dental hygienists and assistants and radiological, you know, they're basically radiologists. The assistants, well, anyways, look, it's like those are pretty worthy outfits most of the time. Granted, some dental outfits are run by sadists. I've been to one when I was this tall. Yeah, this motherfucker took a circular saw to the roof of my mouth in order to remove a tooth that didn't belong there. Because when I was a child, I had a fang, right? And that fang, that extra tooth, it sounds weird, right? My body was confused, man. I also had already had a bad hip problem that they thought was osteomyelitis, which turned into osteochondromatosis, which apparently resembles leg perthes. Whatever the fuck I had, I'm not a doctor, okay? Okay, nerd? I'm not a medical doctor. I didn't get a fucking medical degree, so I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't believe or trust anybody, but I just told you what I know. All right? What? Yeah, you're not a doctor neither, are you? Yeah, exactly. So you should be listening to me, because I have very important things to talk about. And I care about you, man. Or woman. Or tranny. I'm sorry. I didn't understand homosexuals when I was a child, because I was raised by heteros. But you see, when I became a teenager, I joined a band, and that band taught me about Monty Python. And Monty Python has a lot of cross-dressing and transvestitism, and a lot of, like, songs like, every sperm is sacred, and if you waste one, God gets quite irate, doesn't he? And that's when I scratch my head and go, really? Is that really how it is? And it's like, yeah, according to Christianity, yes. If you waste the sperm, God gets irate. Well, fuck Christianity. I'm not going to be one, and I'm not going to go to hell. I'm going to choose something different, because those standards are way too high, and I can't live up to them. Like, that's asking too much of any person. What if I have a nocturnal emission, and it's out of my control at that point? Am I still going to go to hell? Oh no, not if you go confess to your local church or whatever that you had a nocturnal emission, even though you didn't want it. You know what? I got 2 nocturnal emissions to make right now. One of them involves me emptying my bladder so I can go take a leak. And the other involves a song that I made a while back. I hope I can find it. I'm gonna hold my goddamn bladder until I can. Where the hell is it? I also have a live version of this song. Let me stop and think. Where did I save it to? Or what hard drive did I find it on? That's a better question. I think it was on the Big Mac. It's on the Big Mac hard drive. Let's see. Oh God, I'm such a cripple. I can barely get up to do anything anymore. And it's not my fault. I used to be on high-powered painkillers called fentanyl. And the painkiller is in the form of a patch, you see, which involves coating the patch with an oil. And the oil it's basically like a nicotine patch. You know? I don't know if you've ever worn a nicotine patch. Like, if you have never worn one, then you should count your blessings. And I'm proud of you. But if you have worn a nicotine patch, you know what? Don't let anybody tell you you're a lesser person, that you're a piece of garbage. Oh, how did they smoke those filthy things? Oh, they must be subhuman. No. We are not subhuman. We are victims of a society that doesn't really care about us, and that's what the whole debate about was back when those cigarette laws were being made, about the warning labels, you know? Like, I was fucking there, man, and I know why they were made. It's because everybody's clueless until they're not, okay? It takes an honest person with good intentions to give you good information. Everybody else is either stupid or ill-intentioned. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's a terrible way to look at it. What I meant to say was everybody else is misinformed. And with regards to the ill intentions, I should probably say malicious intentions. I want to play this song for you, but I gotta piss too bad, so you can just look at whatever you're looking at. I'll be back. Dude. I'm so glad I did that. Here, let me tidy up. God bless hand sanitizer and the United States of America. And if you don't get that reference, that's just about the Statue of Liberty, that's all. No big deal. Right? When's the last time you got a gift that nice, huh? Where was I? I don't know. Do I really have to pick up right where I left off right away? Jesus Christ. I've only just barely got my shit together. And I'm not talking about literal fecal matter. I mean, like, my routine. Alright? Here. Let's wrap. I'd rather not be totally, like, alienating to my audience. Here, let's go over this stack of books real quick, because I can't live like this. Alright? I know I get a little carried away sometimes because I feel so disrespected by the world because of the way I live. I feel like you guys must think I'm some kind of idiot, like a dunce, like a clown, a court jester, like a person that doesn't deserve rights. Sometimes I feel so unloved. I feel like I gotta prove it to you that I'm actually more than just a babbling idiot with bad intentions. Ill intentions? Hey, guess what? I have a band called High Intentions. If that doesn't prove to you my motives, having a band called High Intentions, it's not about doing drugs, if you can believe that. The original name was High Tension. It was kind of about my blood pressure. Man. But regardless, I have only the highest intentions. Because I couldn't look myself in the mirror if I had anything less. You know what I mean? I don't have morals because somebody programmed me. I have morals because I've lived my life and I don't want to make you feel as bad as I've felt. That's usually what I'm ranting about, is the shit that in life that has made me feel terrible, whether because of physical injury that has caused my opioid addiction, or perhaps just scarred my emotional mind to the point where I feel completely comfortable calling you a gook or a chink or a nigger or a spick or a bohunk or a cunt or a whore or a goddamn piece of shit, even though I know goddamn well you're a human being. It takes a lot of injury to a person's heart and soul and mind to cause them to be so regrettably offensive, doesn't it? Shouldn't I be a civilized young man like I used to be when I got my Dean's List accommodation and certificate placard and my Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society membership in 1997, pretty early on in my life, and also, just, god damn it. I don't think you're ever gonna listen to me. You're never gonna care. And my singer's gonna rot in prison the rest of his black life. Meanwhile, I'm gonna rot in pain and suffering and gee, I don't know. What did Van Gogh live with? Vincent Van Gogh? What was he? He was crazy and he was unknown. I'm gonna live the rest of my life as an unknown crazy person if I don't start sticking up for myself right fucking now. And I know you're not gonna take me seriously, hence all the books. So let's talk about them. Okay, if it's cool with you, this is that book I got for my birthday, right? Here, let me point the microphone this way. I really need a cigarette and I really need a painkiller, but let's make it through this stack first. Alright? This right here was a gift as well. It's funny, when a person has a lot of gifts from other people, I feel that speaks highly about their character, because usually people, they aren't inclined to do that unless you're really cool. Or perhaps your family and they're hoping you turn out cool. Maybe if I influence them the right way, I won't hate them, disown them, pretend like I don't know them, or have never heard of them. Maybe they won't be an embarrassment if I influence them. Because guess what? If you throw away your rights and if you don't stick up for other people's rights, you are an embarrassment, but you're also a disgrace. Alright? And I'm telling you that for your own good, because those are facts. And if you don't know that, you better wake the hell up, because the world is ending. The environment is terrible. The greenhouse gases, the greenhouse effect has not gone away. We have merely lessened the inevitable end of it all. Alright, it is still decaying. Though we should be proud of ourselves for having decreased and lessened the detrimental effect that we have on the world that we live in, it's still not enough, and you can't afford to be smug yet, okay? I don't care what you've sacrificed, it's not enough, because we're not There yet. And who says you gotta sacrifice anything? You know, to live in a sustainable world, all it takes is an alternative way of thinking. You know what the alternative way of thinking is called? It's called a way to sustain instead of a way to profit. And if you don't like that, how's about I say, instead of thinking of a way to profit, how's about a way to think of it as like sustaining and profiting? Because you can do both. They are not mutually exclusive. All right? I don't care what they taught you in business school. It's not true. We live in a different world. I was trying to tell you that earlier with regards to the instant communication, the instant global communication, whether it be video, audio, textual, or God only knows otherwise. I've heard that teledildonics are going around us constantly. Like, there's all kinds of people doing teledildonics right at this moment. There's people fucking each other remotely over the internet. I don't know how they do it. I don't really need to know. But quite frankly, we don't have to live like medieval style, like we have been for so long. We can talk it out. You know, that's how marriages get saved, believe it or not. You know, when people are thinking of getting divorces, you know how they save the marriage? By talking it out. And we can do that now faster than the speed of light. And if I'm lying to you, well, prove me wrong. Because what is the speed of light? Can you quote? I think it's like 100 and something thousand kilometers or something per second. But I don't know kilometers. I know miles. So I'm totally confused. Like when I took Astronomy 101 and they told me it's like 180,000 kilometers to the moon and back. Or was it 120,000? Was it 160? You know, whatever 100,000 kilometers it takes to get to the moon and back. You know, if you try to do that using a laser, otherwise known as the speed of light, it don't take that long. But if you try and do it using the speed of sound, or perhaps the speed of your spacecraft, it's going to take forever. And that's the difference between the past and right now, post-COVID moment that we're having right now. This is literally happening. I'm literally live. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, a big deal, right? It is a big deal, man. What are you, a communist? Let's talk it out, man. Fuck, I'm not that different than you. It's like I hate my leaders and I hate your leaders. We're not that different, are we? No way. So yeah, this is a book that was given to me. It's a dictionary. It has words. It's a really old dictionary. It's a collectible. It was like $65. That's what they priced it at a long time ago when it was used in a bookstore. This book is way older than me, dude. This book was made like fucking in the 19th century. Whatever that means. Right? It's like, what the fuck? You want me to read that? This is the Merriam-Webster dictionary. I'm sure you've used it before. Or wait, Webster's? Merriam-Webster. Yeah, that's what I said, right? I guess before Merriam joined, it was just the Webster's dictionary. I guess that's how that works. All right. That's interesting. I didn't know that. And I own the fucking book. I've read the fucking book. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that aspect. How Merriam-Webster used to just be Webster. Okay, well, I respect Merriam just as much as I respect Webster. So let me see what Webster had to say as a suggestion to the pupil back in the day, okay? You might appreciate this. It says, as you advance in your studies and are promoted to higher grades, new and more difficult questions will continually arise. As well as your penis, excuse me. I'm going to digress from that paragraph. as well as your penis will arise, because you'll be so rich and influential from your education and all of the boots that you lick and the asses that you brown nose. Your penis will be arising a lot as well. Granted, mine rises every morning. It's called morning wood, and I live with it just fine to this very day. I don't take Viagra. So, yeah, as you get your promotions, blah, blah, blah. That's the way it was in the 19th century, and that's the way it still is. How unique. I will get back to this. Okay. So, more difficult questions will continually arise. You will often feel the need of a larger and more complete dictionary, otherwise known as lexicon. I added that. A complete dictionary to answer many puzzling questions in spelling, comma, language work, comma, history, comma, geography, comma, and science. God, those are the most important disciplines mankind has, other than art and music. And, you know, those two are basically the same thing. Art and music are the same thing, but art typically implies sculpting or perhaps painting, you know, perhaps poetry. Art will save us. Capitalism will not. That's what I believe. Alright, let's take it from the top, this time without all of the personal shit. Okay? I'm gonna try my best to be like a voiceover actor. Perhaps an actress? Here, I'll read it like a girl. That'll keep me in character. Okay, a suggestion to the pupil. Okay? Here we go. As you advance in your studies and are promoted to higher grades, new and more difficult questions will continually arise. You will, he got titillating. You will often, yeah, see, I shouldn't even use the girl voice because I can't stay in character even still. You can tell I'm not a master thespian, right? It's like I didn't go to Juilliard to get my musical lessons, and I didn't go to acting college, wherever that is. Yeah. I just can't do anything right. Yeah, one more time. I'm toughing it out because I'm so tired of not being taken seriously. I need to share this with you just so you can take me seriously, because I have very important things to talk to you about. They're called human rights, and it's called justice, and it's called the apocalypse and preventing it. It's called dystopia and preventing it. So I will continue, and I'll try to take this seriously, okay? Here we go. A suggestion to the pupil. Bueller, as you advance in your studies and are promoted to higher grades, new and more difficult questions will continually arise. You will often feel the need of a larger and more complete dictionary to answer many puzzling questions in the disciplines of spelling, language work, history, geography, and science. A new dictionary, Webster's Collegiate 3rd edition, has just been issued to meet your needs. Bueller, this new book is the largest abridgment of Webster's New International, the parent dictionary of the latest Merriam. Oh, son of a bitch, Merriam was already a thing. Okay, I guess I don't know anything about history. Fuck me. Oh, where was I? Webster's New International, the parent dictionary of the latest Merriam-Webster series. Justly known. I like that. Justly. Okay. Justly known as the one supreme authority. Damn, that's cocky. Okay, what else? It's always been my favorite dictionary. I mean, I can't lie. Like, I've tried using Oxford and all the others, and guess what? The Merriam-Webster has always been my favorite. I think it was my old man's favorite, too. Judd's favorite? Yeah, well. Anyway, where was I? The latest Merriam-Webster series, justly known as the one supreme authority. At school, you probably have access to one or both of these dictionaries, but do you know that study at home is made easier and is more quickly accomplished when you have there the opportunity to use one of the larger dictionaries? Have you a new international or collegiate in your home? Right. For specimen pages, etc., to G&C Merriam Co. Publishers, Springfield, Massachusetts, USA. Copyright 1892 by G&C Merriam Company. What's this fine print? Registered at Stationers Hall, London, England. All rights reserved. Bleeding limeys? Are you telling me that the Merriam-Webster's primary dictionary is just as bollocks as the Oxford? Did I use bollocks properly? I should look that up. Do they have bollocks in here? Do they? I don't know, man. There's a few terms I'm not certain if I use properly. Bollocks is one of them. I know I listen to a lot of punk rock music, but hey, man, I'm American. I might be like, nobody says bollocks. I'm probably the only American I know that ever says bollocks, except for the Americans that are saying never mind the bollocks, you know? And never mind the what now? What? Can you say that again? Never mind the bollocks. The what? Never mind the what? The bollocks. What are you talking? What? Bollocks? The bollocks, man. What's a bollock, American? I don't know. It's something to do with your head or a body part or something. I don't know. Maybe it's your attitude? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm American. I hang out with too many stupid... No, that's not true. I avoid the stupid Americans. But still, I don't have enough friends. You know? Real friends. Like BFFs. You know, I don't know if anybody ever told you this. It's possible to have more than one BFF. I'm going to tell you. That's true. Alright? You can have more than one. It's not like you're married. There's no contractual obligation nor a religious obligation preventing you from having more than one BFF. Granted, though, okay, if you're gonna choose your one BFF, I would recommend you choose JJ Styles Trip Zip Uno. That's Trip Zip Uno. Just like the stream you're watching. Why am I Trip Zip Uno? Well, if you get rid of the zip, I'm Uno. So I'll be your number one BFF. Why? Because I got nothing better to do. Also, because I won't lie to you. I won't manipulate you. I'll probably just annoy you. And I'll do it to your face, which probably will make you not want to have me for a BFF. Because most fakers, phonies, suck-ups, brown-nosers, liars, backstabbers, and the like are going to be as nice to your face as possible. And if they tell you to fuck off and die, or eat shit, or call you a coward for not sticking up for your human rights, nor your constitutional rights, well then, hey man, whatever. What do you respect? Somebody that totally caves and licks your boots, or somebody that tries to save your life? And your freedom. Because your freedom is basically your life, because a life without freedom is not a life. That's what you call a slave. Slaves don't have lives. Free people have lives. You get it, moron? You get it, suck up? You get it, two-faced phony that I have no respect for? And if you feel the same way as I do, well, why don't you make a fucking stream like mine so I can watch it and know you're just like me, cut from the same book? You're like a page out of the same book, are you? I've never seen you get this fucking upset. Granted, I do have medical conditions and a hard life that leads me up to this point. But I don't think anybody wants to throw themselves under the bus quite like I have. I've publicly admitted my dope addiction without having a good reason to, other than the fact I'm desperate for your help. I never got in trouble. I never got arrested. I never overdosed and went to the hospital. I literally got abused and exploited by my doctors. They were exploiting me for my medical insurance, and now that I can't go to any doctors in my hometown, I just get to suffer. They got theirs, and I got mine, but theirs lasted a lot longer, except for Dr. Rabe and Dr. Von Kirschner. They're dead. I feel badly, and my condolences to anyone else affected. I'm talking about family, not patients. Patients shouldn't mourn that hard. It's just a doctor. It's just a care provider. Even if it's tragic and regrettable, it's only family that are really supposed to mourn that hard. Why is it that way? It's just the way it's always been. You know, I've got a lot of responsibilities, even though I'm a born loser. Alright? And in order to uphold my responsibilities, I gotta keep a sound state of mind. And if I'm too busy crying over my dead doctors, it's not gonna work. I know this. I have survivor guilt and post-traumatic stress. So therefore, whatever, man. But yeah, this was a cool gift from a pretty cool friend. Fellas, we did the gun book, gun laws, dictionary, lexicon, freaking, what was the other one? Oh, whatever happened to justice. This book is pretty cool. I want to address this one because this book is called Secrets and Lies, and you're all living your lives by lies. And I know it because I'm a computer hacker and I read your email just like the NSA. Hey man, those days are gone. Alright, it's not quite as easy. But I know how cowardly, how meek, how timid, how selfish most people are. You know, they say it's the 1% versus the 99%. Yeah. It's more like the 99% versus the 1%. Oh, what does that mean? Are you talking about money and wealth? No, I'm talking about cowards versus courageous people. I'm saying 1% of you are courageous like me, whereas the 99% of you all are cowardly, spineless, slimy, cold-blooded worms that don't deserve the freedoms and rights that you've been afforded. That's literally how I feel, because I've suffered way more in the past 20 goddamn years than anyone ever should. I've had so many close ones die. I've had so many ailments and disabilities. I've had so little medication and sympathy and get-well-soon cards. Just thinking about the get-well-soon cards makes me want to commit an act of violence against my microphone, my camera, and my television display. Because it hurts. Man, it really fucking hurts my feelings, but so what? Well, 20 years ago, I got to see this guy, Bruce Schneier, talk at DEF CON at, like, the Alexis Park. And the guy is not only a genius, he's actually very nice and decent. Granted, a lot of his technical papers back in the day were not politically correct. Like, every time he would talk about cryptography and cryptographers, okay, cryptology and cryptanalysis, he'd usually be making an analogy, kind of like his public key cryptography analogy that involves like three people. I think it's like Lucy, Charlie, and Bruce or something like that. I don't know though, I forget. Because names mean nothing. Actions mean everything. Good intentioned, kind actions. Like life-saving actions, man. And I'm pretty sure Bruce never wanted to hurt anybody's feelings when he said him instead of her in all of his technical papers. Though they do look awfully antiquated, old-timey, and obsolete. Do they not? I mean, give me a break. There's some women cryptographers, some girls, some ladies that are actually... You know what? I'll leave it up to the cryptographers to rank each other. I'm just a rank amateur, personally. I'm a professional amateur with regards to computer security, cryptography, cryptology, video making, music making, and my life. I'm an amateur at my own goddamn life. I'd like to think I'm a professional at living my life, but I do it so badly, I must be an amateur, because I suffer way more than I fucking should, and you know it's true. Otherwise, I wouldn't be this fucking angry. I wouldn't be mad as hell and telling you, ow, I'm not going to take it anymore. God damn. What kind of gesture does it take to get a motherfucker to care about a motherfucker? Jesus Christ almighty. God damn it, amen. So help me. Can I get a witness? Fuck no. I can't, actually. Thanks. Testing, okay. I'm sorry, did I just throw a tantrum? I didn't think I was, because I'm not trying to get my way. Oh wait, maybe I am. No, it's not my way, it's our way. It's called our constitutional rights, our human rights. I'm trying to get those acknowledged, because I can't remember the last time I felt like they truly were. So, yeah, I'm not throwing a tantrum. I'm just mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore because, hey man, this ain't the first time I've trashed my studio out of anger, frustration, and resentment. Resentment for whom? The cowards, of course. Also the backstabbers, the liars, the cheats, and those that don't make human rights their main priority. Like, there's a lot of selfish motherfuckers out there, and guess what? Most of them are your idols. Your false idols. I mean, in my humble opinion, at least. Damn it. I wish I didn't have a bad shoulder or a bad back. Ridiculous. Why do I do this to myself? I'm gonna fall over if I'm cleaning up around here. It's too fucking claustrophobic. I can't deal with all these books falling over on me and shit. You're just gonna have to take my word for it that I read most of them, okay? I'll tell you the truth. I didn't read this one cover to cover. This book is not meant to be read that way. I just wanted to indicate to you that I have tried to get my voice out before and it wasn't easy. And I didn't fucking profit off of it neither. Alright? If you don't tell people what they want to hear, you're not likely to profit. Oh yeah, this is a good book too. It's fucking the story of medication or medicine. If you were to stop and learn that story, maybe you wouldn't be so prejudiced against addicts. Man, maybe all of your prejudice feeds their self-destructive addiction. If you knew the story, if you could get the story straight, maybe you wouldn't be such a persecuting asshole, and maybe you'd actually help more than you hurt. You think you help, but you're helping the environment more than you're helping actual humans. You ever think about that? And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Fucking leave a comment. Because I don't like playing guessing games. I like having evidence. Evidence like friends. Or people I at least know and consider associates or acquaintances that tell me truthful stories about their life. Man, I don't like making assumptions because it makes an ass out of me, mostly. But if I tell you an assumption and you go along with it and it's not correct, it makes an ass out of you too. So you gotta fact check me, I guess. Granted, I don't want to make hypothetical references. I'd rather have close ones that I can reference and tell their story. Kind of like my singer that's rotting in prison. When we should be making music. They may be the best years of his life, but basically the best years of mine are gone too. Already. I think. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I hear from most people my age. For a little, maybe in their 50s. Most people in their 50s, they aren't walking around saying, hey, I'm living the best years of my life. They're more like, hey, I'm in my golden years. Because my life is over. I lived it. And now I get to spend the rest of it remembering all the cool shit I did. Yeah, man. Oh, what kind of cool shit did I do? I got disrespected by my own people. That's what kind of cool shit I did. I got ignored, rejected, and basically, you just want to disavow all knowledge of me. Why am I such a bad guy? Am I a rapist? Am I a child rapist? Am I a cheat? Am I a liar? Am I a piece of garbage? Actually, my name's JJ Styles. I'm the original streamer and the rockin'est man alive, and I've basically never hurt anybody. Ever. Including myself. I'm not a cutter, and I'm not an overdoser. Granted, there are times that I've wanted to die, and I've had the gun to my head, and I was gonna pull the trigger and emptied the chamber into the sky. Hopefully those cartridges, those pellets, yeah, it was a cartridge, and then it became a pellet. Hopefully those pellets didn't fall and hurt anyone. The statistical likelihood of that happening is very, very infinitesimal, and I know that because of the guilt I had. That I didn't deserve. At all. I'm just a simple high school dropout wannabe music professional. I'm just a guy that invented a content genre called the video game content genre. I didn't invent the movie content genre. I think Mystery Science Theater 3000 invented that one. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that Joel and all of his little crowbot and everybody, all his friends, I think they invented the movie content genre, but I invented the video game one. You get it? And I don't feel very reciprocated. Granted, I don't think Joel is very reciprocated either, but people will typically argue over whether or not, you know, he invented, because you can't give Beavis and Butthead credit for inventing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 genre, because Beavis and Butthead weren't talking over movies, they were talking over music videos. You know what I mean? That's a totally different genre. That's like that's like the music video content creator genre. I'm pretty sure Mike Judge invented that one. But I'm not a professional historian, nor am I an attorney, nor am I a doctor, nor am I married, nor am I a father. I'm just a disabled piece of shit punk rocker that is tired of taking and eating shit, and I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take or eat your shit anymore. And if I do continue to, well, it's only because I have to legally. By law. If you force me to eat shit and I can't do anything about it, it's because it's a law. Like the fact I can't get a care provider to give me a fentanyl patch to save my life after a 50... You know what? You don't have to take my word for it. I really need a cigarette, but I'd like you to look at this while I make my cigarette. Because, God damn it, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Alright? I'm not. So here, I've been carrying this around with me. Might as well let you stare at it while I make a cigarette. Because I don't think anybody's ever noticed or seen this before. You guys must think I'm a liar, because nobody cares! So now you get to care. Tell me how that feels. It's probably going to hurt and feel regrettable, knowing that I've been right the whole time, that I've been acting like an asshole, using bad words in practically all my streams, because I'm so upset, frustrated, let down, in pain, post-traumatically, psychotically stressed the fuck out, and poor. All combined. Huh. That's funny. Garfield is the greatest. Just like me! Motherfucker. You think I bought that on the street? Get real, moron. You don't get good drugs on the street. You get drugs that are stomped on, cut down, and watered down, basically is what cut means. You get watered down. You don't get name brand top of the line fentanyl when you buy it on the street, motherfucker. Do you get it? Do you get what I've been put through? Hell. And that's not even like, I mean, look, I'll admit that I'm just a stupid junkie drug addict. So if you don't feel sorry for stupid junkies, well, I'm also a patient. But if you don't feel sorry for patients, even chemotherapy patients, maybe you'll just feel sorry for a human with human rights and an American with national rights, like amendments and constitutions and junk I don't understand, because I'm a high school dropout, even though I have a book in that pile over there that I had to move because I don't have room to breathe in my tiny, teeny studio. You know, I should be richer than Kanye West right now and Taylor Swift combined, because I could enrich your life by encouraging you to pursue your fucking rights. But you're just a little coward that loves money and like pussy or dick. You're just a cat lover. Or somebody that likes Richards, like Nixon. You're just a coward that would never stick up for me in a fight, Because you don't want to get your knuckles bloody. You don't want to get your nose broken. You don't want to get your heart broken. And you don't want to get your reputation tarnished. So you never stick up for me. So I gotta shout. I'm as mad as hell. Hey, did I ever tell you about this band I was in one time? Back around the George W. Bush era? I'd say hold that thought, but I know you can't answer, so keep racking your brain. Or memories or whatever. If you keep them on a computer or whatever. Here, I need some music because I'm starting to lose my cool. And I gotta stay cool. And music is cool. What does cool mean? It means it's the opposite of not cool. That's what it means. Give me some music, JJ. Yes, JJ, right away. I respect you.
I don't have to tell you things. It's special. Work. Job.
Yeah.
Shopkeepers keep them down. They're running wild in the streets and nobody anywhere seems to know what to do and there's no end to it. You know, the air is unfit to breathe, our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone.
Steel-belted radios.
I want you to get mad. I want you to protest.
Isn't that Charlton Heston? I forget. I haven't watched Network in a long
I don't know
time.
what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad.
Uh-oh. The music's gonna come on. It's gonna get really loud right now.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chair. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
I'm as bad as hell, and I can't take this anymore. Only took me 40 years to grow a spine. Oh, but it's a broken spine, so be it. It's more solid than the worms I see around me. The spineless worms. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like, God made them that way, or evolution. We probably evolved from Earthworm Jim, made by shiny software, etc., etc., and so forth. Check this part out. Yeah, I got this song memorized. It's what I do. I probably evolved from worms. So no disrespect, but I got a spine, otherwise known as I am a vertebrate. And if you're a vertebrate, that probably means you have a brain. because that's what sits at the top of your vertebrae. And if you don't use your brain, you might as well be a spineless worm. And if you don't use your heart, you might as well not be human. And I mean that metaphorically, because hearts pump blood, but they are also known to love others than themselves. Maybe you've heard of the concept, I don't know. I hope so. I don't want to patronize you, but I am wondering, because I've suffered for a long time now. He's mad as hell. Oh no, as I cross my eyes. I don't even want to look at those. They're giving me PTSD. I gotta stop. Have I made my point? I suffer to make my point. This isn't fun at all. I'm not getting off on my rage. Alright? I'm not a right-wing pundit on the radio. I'm a human being with an internet connection and a webcam and a condenser microphone and taste and sympathy and also self-respect. That's what I am. I'm a DIY, which means do it yourself and don't wait for some other stupid son of a bitch to fuck it up and do it the wrong way. Convey your message. Convey what you think, what you feel, because I'll bet there's more people that feel the exact same way I do. I feel there's more people like me than there are lapdogs, henchmen, and the like. Man. Bam! Take it down. Bam, 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 boom. Get down. Mad as hell? You bet your ass. You know, I'm so emo, I don't know if I ever get around to making my point. It's like I fall apart before I even get there. Because I care too much. Do you think your politicians care that much? Your elected representatives? I tell you what, if you review the history reels, you'll be able to figure out yourself which ones cared and which ones didn't. Man. All you gotta do is look in their eyes. Look at their faces. That's all you gotta do to see their intentions. Is to just like look at them and see what condition they're in and what condition they want to be in. Do they want to have a global world war, or do they want to have peace and unity amongst all mankind? You know? What do you think they want? Your leaders. I don't have any leaders. I am my own leader. I don't follow anyone's advice unless I've considered it deeply and read a few things, or at least watched a few videos, man. Because I know nobody cares about me. But, you know, I ran away from home when I was 17. And I didn't run away. I got a job and a fiance and a place to live and a whole lot of responsibilities. That was my version of running away before I was 18. Were you that good at running away? Or did you just have to suffer on the street and get dehumanized like you were less than dirt every time you begged for help? I'll bet the latter is more true than the former. But I digress, because I don't like this topic nor this discussion I'm having with my computer. Alright? I say my computer because I don't think one of you cowards is going to comment and support me. I'm looking out for you, even though I hate you. And I've been hating you for like the past month, because I can't do this anymore. I've got way too much emotional weight on my shoulders, as well as too much crippling, painful disabilities in my body. I really can't afford to be like this. I'm either gonna have like a heart attack from the blood pressure, or maybe I'll have an aneurysm and a stroke, I guess. I don't know what's gonna happen because I'm not a doctor, but I know that all this stress and all of this zealous ranting that is completely justified is doing me no good unless it changes things. I'm literally killing myself with my attitude more than I've ever killed myself with narcotics. Because I did those a lot more and they didn't kill me. But I've been speaking my mind for a very small amount of time and it's killing me quicker than the narcotics. I can feel it in my chest and the pressure in my skull and the twitching fucking shakiness of my nervous system and my appendages, baby. It's not healthy for me to have to do this. It's killing me to do this. And so I stopped. I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to talk about my books and how they are all correct. I'm sure you saw the titles. Works like You Are Being Lied To. Everything you know is wrong. Secrets and Lies. And this is just making my heart, I can't. I'm too worked up. I gotta mellow out. And I don't have any cannabis. I don't have enough opioids, and I don't use those to mellow out anyways. That contributes to my pain. I guess I'm gonna have to drink. And this is a very bad mindset to drink in, because I'm probably just gonna let loose some more hate and rage and disappointment and hurt feelings. But hey man, if that's what the alcohol lets loose, so be it. Thanks for watching. I'm JJ, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. You don't have to sacrifice your weekend. Just sacrifice your voice and stick up for me and my singer and everybody else. Alright?